Hello everyone, this is Nudge, and today I'm making an actual video for once instead of a stream, and I'm using voice memos on my phone to record this because I think it's going to be the clearest way to do it. Hopefully I won't be interrupted. I have no idea how long this is going to take because I am excited. You guys. Yesterday was just amazing. Not much happened really. We all talked. My family was all here. A lot of people were here, and so, in case you don't know, I have just now turned 17. It's been my birthday. So, instead of gushing over WWDC or whatever everyone else does nowadays, which I actually am excited for, don't get me wrong. I am really excited. In fact, I'm going to join the iOS 14 public beta cycle as soon as I can. But anyway, instead, I'm going to focus on something else. So, my game collection has been updated with not one, but two new games. I'm going to cover the first one now. It is the Simon Micro from 2015, I think. This thing lives up to its name. It's tiny. Well, for a Simon at least. It's even smaller than the Pocket Simon 1988, and that seems like not much of an improvement, seeing that it's more than 25 years afterward, but still, it is, like, it fits perfectly into my hand, and it doesn't feel the same way the Pocket Simon does because the buttons are really smooth and they're much more clicky, although the one exception is you kind of can't press any of them, otherwise the game will turn on. It takes two AA batteries, which have already been installed. Apparently these are demo batteries, so I'm not sure how long they last. I'm going to have to take them out eventually, but I got both of these games, by the way, new in the retail box, which is great because I could have gotten them used or something. Importing from the UK, well, it takes time for one, and also it takes a lot of money because I live in Hungary, so it's a little bit different. Anyway, the gimmick with the Simon Micro is you have a levels mode, which works the same way as the Simon Swipe does, and most of all of the newer Simon games that use levels. You have a sequence of commands. You have to repeat those commands by pressing the colored buttons, and the gimmick with this one is instead of swipes, you have to press multiple buttons at the same time. Problem with that is you need to be extremely alert to exactly how many, because after a while it's going to ask you to do 3 of them, and finally it'll ask you to do all 4 of them at the same time. Now if you don't know when that's coming, which sometimes I don't, then you can quite easily fail. Let me demonstrate by turning this on and playing around. So this is solo, pass it. And to start a game, you either press red for solo or green for pass it. And it'll start right away. So I just got a color, it's red, and I'm going to keep repeating the sequence. Be careful with the green and the blue, they sound very alike. There we go, level 2. That is green. That is blue. See the difference? I got a blue and a blue. You can button mash too if you really wanted to. That is a double. One of the harder ones to notice, in fact. It's green and blue. Oh, this again. Blue-green. Okay, sequences get a tiny bit longer now. Start with a double. Oh, is this the one that has the double somewhere randomly in the level and you don't know where it is? Get ready, this is where the triples come in. Blue and yellow. Get ready. Yep. So that's blue, yellow, red. Ooh. That's green, yellow, red. Nope, it wasn't. I messed that up. Triples are hard. Now, this game does a really weird scoring thing, like every 5 points it makes another sound. So, 25, 30, nope, didn't even get 30. Only got 29, which isn't too bad, I guess. I could have done much better. One thing with the Simon Micro is the simplicity of it makes it so that you can't go back to the level you were last on. You have to start from the beginning every time. I like how they tried to rip up the Simon Swipe sounds, but made them all shorter. Okay, I don't like the fact that it's shorter, but especially that level sound, the fact that it's cut off. But I get what they were going for. And also, maybe there wasn't enough space to fit it in memory anyway, so... I also like the clickiness of these buttons, the fact that they feel all clicky, and sometimes you can even feel the spring inside the unit. Oh, I have to press it twice. Blue, yellow. Also, you can cover up the speaker. Not much, but a little bit. It's in the center part. Yellow, red. See, now the double is somewhere else. Could be the last thing in the level, for all we know. It's random where it is. Yep, it's the last thing now. Here's the double. The double is hidden somewhere. Okay, let's move on to the triple part. Here we go. Yellow, blue, green. Yes. Okay, let's see. Let's see how well I can do. Yellow, red, blue. Yes. Yes. Past that. Blue, yellow, green. I think maybe the random of the order of this is also random. What? I pressed the same things I did last time. What? That was weird. You can also interrupt this completely by just starting another game with the red, but I'm just gonna let it count. 30, 34. It's quite challenging. I've only played this a handful of times, and if you hold the red button, it gives you your high score, which is actually much higher because I got up to a really high level once, which is... 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 49. Yeah, I got all the way up to 49 once. I got the quads, like all 4 of them at the same time. Let's see if we can get up to that level. I'm going to play a few more times. Oh, before I forget, let me show you what the pass it mode does. It's basically the same, except you repeat the sequence, and then after the level ends, it will do that. And then the level starts a second time. So it just repeats the same level patterns, except there's 2 players, and so the level repeats twice. Also, it doesn't keep score at all. So if you die, it just dies. This is a good way to practice, though, because you see, now it's 4 instead of 3, so it's just doing level 2's pattern, which in this case is 4 straight 1-button taps. Pass it. It's a tiny bit more tedious, don't get me wrong, I know, but it's a good way to practice once you get up to the triple and the quad part. It may still go much worse than intended. So instead of doing this, I'm just going to lose because there's really no point in continuing. Also, if you wait for long enough, it does turn off. Yeah, it just goes and then nothing. No score. Just says solo. Pass it. And by the way, the lights are constantly flashing, I think, is what why it's saying solo, pass it, because it's just going alternating between red and green. Okay, let's try again. And the one thing in terms of sound design that they changed is the and then no when you start a game. Sounds a tiny bit different than the way the Simon Swipe does. I like the micro for a different reason than the second game that I got, because this is like so small and portable, and yet it's really fun. It's one of those things that you can keep playing for a long time and not get bored of it, because it's not always the same. It changes patterns. I think from what I can tell, the doubles that you get, like the colors by themselves, are never the same. So like it doesn't know what colors to give you. It's just the kind of move that it knows what to give you, like doubles or singles. That could be me though. I haven't seen a certain pattern of colors, like clockwise or something, yet. Doubles coming later in this level. There it is. So it would be actually quite interesting to do something like the all-in-one challenge on this, because it's not that... It's very luck-based on what kind of colors you get. It's not like the Simon Swipe or the Air or the Optics, for that matter. Blue, yellow, green. Yes. Is this random? Maybe it. No, I don't think it is. What? Oh. I'm just gonna. Okay, pressing anything but red and green. Pressing anything but red and green doesn't do anything. But you can restart a game, and it does save your score, by the way. Triples are hard, but at least it's a rewarding experience. And sometimes, if you get up far enough, which I haven't yet. There's another blue and a blue. I think it gives you a tiny bit of like a window to press one button after you're holding the other button. You can do something like this. But I like to press them at the same time. If you press one too many buttons, it will fail. And if you hold one part of it too long, it also fails. Oh, I messed up. Now, as you can hear, it's counting points much slower now. Because basically the way it works is... Just got a score of 18. Basically, if you get farther enough, the points start counting faster. I don't exactly understand how this works, but depending on what score you get, it changes the speed, and when it does the high score, like when you tell it to give you the high score, it's the fastest speed possible. In fact, if you let this play and then play a game, I'm just gonna play this game, and you'll see that the score counting is now gonna be extremely fast, because it's one of those weird things that can happen. It's like a glitch. So if you tell it to do the high score and interrupt the high score by starting a game, it will then change the speed of the point counting to be much faster. Not that you want to, but I'm just going to show you, if I end this game, that it will get faster. I'm going to try to get as far as I can this time. Just like every other time. I'm not going to fail or anything. Likes blue and yellow. Maybe I should be a little bit slower. Red and yellow is my favorite because I can distinguish it very easily. Blue and green, not so much. Get ready. Blue, yellow, green. Sounds like this is actually random. Yeah, this is random. Or is it? Blue, red, green? Oh, I did the wrong... See? That's what I'm talking about. It changes. Oh, I got up to 29 again, didn't I? I'm going to try one more time, then I'm going to move on, because I swear, sometimes these triples are annoying. Come on. It's a tiny bit like playing repeat the beat on the loops. Are you kidding me? Because with the loops, you have to do 2 loops at the same time sometimes, except it gives you a different kind of, like it goes higher pitch instead of doing multiple of the same thing. Maybe actually a better analogy would be playing repeat the beat on the loop shifter, because that does do the same 4 pitches, but it just makes them like multiple at the same time. Anyway, Simon Micro, it's great. I'm gonna have a lot of fun trying to beat this thing, because I've already got up to 49, and apparently the highest score you can get is 100, which is crazy. So I'm almost halfway there, and I haven't even gotten that far yet on this recording. I'm going to try a bit later. But let's move on, because this is not the only thing that I got. Oh no. I may have hinted to this earlier in a bit beforehand, but yeah, get ready. This is a monstrosity of a game. Okay, it's not that big, but it is quite big. Much bigger in comparison to the Simon Micro, although that's to be expected because the Simon Micro is tiny. This is like a normal-sized electronic game, I would guess. And it's basically the game that completes, or not completely completes, but adds even more to the Simon collection. Because I really wasn't expecting to get this, by the way. Because it is the Simon Optics. Now, to visualize the way this thing works, I don't even know how I'm supposed to describe this thing. It's weird. Basically, it's like a headband, I guess. Except it's very, very rigid and made of plastic on the front. So, you have this strip that goes along the back of your head, and then close to your ears is where the battery covers are. Yes, there's 2 of them. It takes 4 AAAs, 1 on one side, 2 on one side, and 2 on the other side. And then on the sides, there's a dial on both sides. Well, one dial is a mechanical dial that changes the head strap size so that you can fit it on your head. The other one is a digital dial that twists either one way or the other way, kind of like the Bop It Smash slider does. So one way switches modes, the other way switches volume. And then in the center of that is a button which you use to turn it on and start a game, and also get your high score. Also, I'm not sure if it'll enable you to restart. Let me see. So when you start it up, it's going to go into the solo mode, and I'm going to quickly start a game and find out what happens if I hold the button. Nothing happens. Okay, so you can't cancel out of a game. The only way to cancel out of a game is to press the change the mode dial to the second mode and then back to normal mode again. Because there's only 2 modes, just like there is in the Simon Micro. The first mode is the solo levels mode, and then the other mode is what's called sync mode, where if you have multiple of these units together, it will sync both of them up with each other, and I'm trying to adjust the strap. It's not really working. There we go. And allow you. It's kind of like infrared, so it basically it connects with multiple units and allows everyone to play the same pattern, which is endless, by the way. It's not made up of levels. It's basically how far you can go before you run out, before you press something wrong. And before I forget, let me mention how it works on the front. So next to the the dials are close to where your ears are, and then after that, on your forehead kind of, is where you're actually supposed to play the game. There's this strip on the front which has sensors on it. They're kind of like the way the Simon Air works, if you know how that works. So basically it's a light sensor. It detects when there's light in front of it and when there's not. So when you're putting your hand close to it, it activates. And the gimmick with this is that you're supposed to jab up to your face, basically. And also the very top of the unit, the one that's the closest to your head, is where the speaker is. And so it's like an upwards firing one that fires sound upwards towards the air, and towards the roof of the room or whatever, or the sky, which is interesting. Now, I'm going to start playing this, but before I do, I'm going to change the volume to quiet, because this one does have a volume option, and I like to keep it on quiet because it is extremely loud. So when you turn this on, you can twist the mode switch to change the volume. There's also a silent option. There's 3 other levels, so I'm going to switch it to quiet. If you switch the mode in the other position, I'll switch between the sync mode and the normal mode. This Simon by far has the best quality sounds that I know of that are digitally generated, that are actual sound files. I love this thing. I love the sound design of that is. Okay, let's press the start button and start doing stuff. Let's go. Now, here's the way it works. Red is the sensor on the left. Green is the sensor on your right. I love how it tries to sync up with the music, by the way. This is the only Simon that I know that has music. And blue and yellow both are the middle sensor. There's only 3 sensors, not 4. It's confusing. Now, level 2, same thing. Except music changes pitch. And also, there's a new move. Voo! You have to start from right to center to left. Now, even more moves. That was a red and green, a double. Voo! So you start from left to right. Voo! Good. The solo starts with a double. And I failed. I don't know why. 11. Now, if you press the start button quick enough, which I didn't, but if you press start quick enough, it'll come back to the same level that you were on and you can continue from there. Otherwise, it'll start back from level 1. Music also resets pitch. So again, blue and yellow are the same sensor in the middle. It doesn't matter which one it is. You can also swipe through these sensors, by the way, so I could go. It's just really reckless to do that because I may accidentally sense it twice or something. That has happened before. So blue-green. What? Let's start from let's start from level 1 again. I need to practice my doubles. I've gotten up to a really high level, but I haven't gotten up to the high level from the very beginning. That's what I'm trying to do. I love how it's trying to be very close to the beat of the music, and when it gets up to level 2, it's basically, the immersion is ruined. Because it's already out of sync. Hello? There we go. Takes a little bit of patience to get it to activate. Voo! You need to use both hands. There's no way to play this with one hand. Not that I know of. Okay. Done this before. No! Ah. 13. I've gotten 14 before. I'm gonna try a few more times. If I can't get there, I'll start from the same level that I stopped at. Because I want to show you one more different kind of move that it does. Just this little bit on my head. I think the green is having a bit of problems. Okay, lesson learned. Do not start too quickly. Do it systematically. Don't try swiping. It won't work. Don't do did-it-in. Just din, din, din. Ooh. Also, whatever you do, not touch the sensors when you're doing this because it may double sense. You can give it a tiny light tap with one part of your finger or something, but don't just slide along with your palm or something, it won't work. You can't do it like you did with the Simon Air, or at least that I did. You can lightly touch it, but you can't rest your finger on it. Okay, I think I'm up to the level. No, what? When you hear the v, that means... Okay, I'll try one more time. If you hear the v, that means you were either out of time or you started a double move, but it only sensed one of your inputs instead of both. No, you're not turning off, thank you. Try one more time. I'm determined. Well, I have the game after all, so I can practice all I want now. That's the whole reason why I got it, is to practice and to get good at it. I get how people don't really like the Simon Optics for its wonky sensors, but I wanted to always give it a try no matter what. It's a really cool experience. Let me tell you that. It is a really cool experience. Every time I do a double, I get scared. Okay, I think I can do it now. No, what? I did the same thing I did last time. Okay, fine. Let's continue from this level and show you the rest of the game. Or enough that I can. If that wasn't enough, there's one more move. Why is it so easy when I start from this point? It's really annoying how I can't actually pass this from the very beginning. Be very careful with starting from right to left and going back to right. Nope, just like that. Started too late. You can't pause the score announcement either, you just have to wait for it to stop and then press the button. Also, one thing I like about it is the clickiness of that button and the dial. I love the mechanics of this thing too. The ones that it has, that is, because when you're playing it, it's silent. Well, especially if you're playing in silent mode. Ah, started too late again. View. You can't wait too long either, because if you do... Oh, never mind, it worked. Best case scenario, start the taps on the same side. Yay! See, the music speeds up. Voo voo. There's an even weirder one later on with all the swipes. Is this where the new move happens? Yep. So the way to the vavim is from green to red, up. I said green to red. From green and red to blue and yellow. So you go from the sides to the middle with both of your hands. Ah, just jabbed myself in the head. There we go. Now this one is always... Oh, never mind. Not this one yet. There's another one. There's another level that's like almost always the same. Vivim. Nope. This one's that one's quite hard. No, this is the one that's always the same. It's red, green, blue. Red, green, blue, yellow, which actually is both the same exact sensor. You can just vim, 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 vim. And there's one more. Vim, 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 vim. Green, red. Nope, that was my fault. Messed that up. Got a score of 16. I could have gotten like a score of 30 something or 40 something by now if I was starting from the beginning. See, it's always the same pattern, doesn't change. This one's strict. Unlike the Simon Micro, as I said before, it uses kind of patterns, same way, but not exactly the same. What? I'm determined. I'm going to keep going, because I think I've gone to a level a tiny bit higher than this. Once. Vim, 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 vim. Vim, 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 vim. Green, red. Yes. There we go. Oh, what? What? Sometimes I think I start my swipes too close to the center sensor instead of the side sensor, so it doesn't work. Maybe I should start from the side. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm gonna start from the whole entire, just the side edge. Usually works better that way. What? Maybe I was a tiny bit too far. I think I passed this level too once. Is this always the same? What? Oh, starts from the other side. Well, that's actually in beat with the music. Yes. Okay, one more. Vivim. What? Sometimes, or most of the time, I feel like this game doesn't really follow my movements correctly. This is why, like, I understand what people were saying when they said that it's a little bit weird in terms of the sensors working, but I'm determined. I'm gonna keep trying. Oh, that was me. I hesitated. Okay, let's try it a little bit differently. I touched the unit, and so it double sensed. Let me show you. If you try to touch it, it doesn't always work. Sometimes it works. But see, yeah, there. It double sensed me. I'm gonna be stuck on this level for a while. I'm determined. Okay, let's do it. What? Okay, you know what? I may try later. I know I've gotten a little bit further than this. I think I've beaten this one level, maybe. I'm not sure. But I'm going to show you quickly what the sync mode does. And then I'm going to try from the very beginning again. So it does this wow, 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 wow. Right now it's searching for other headsets, which of course there aren't any, because this is the only one. But you could connect up to multiple ones, and then one of them would be the host, and other ones would be guests, and they would be playing the same thing. If you start a game, it waits for about 15 seconds so that it could establish connections with every headset in the room, and then finally start a game, which, depending on how long it goes, or depending on how long the sequence is, it waits more time between commands. And this one is endless. It goes on forever. It also tries its best to keep in sync with the music. As you can hear, it waits much longer in between commands, so that the other ones can catch up. It depends on how quickly you do them yourself. And also, this one has a very, very, very low safety margin or time margin, so if you wait too long, it'll kick you out. Maybe it is changing pitch very slightly. See, I waited too long, and it kicked me out. I think I've gotten a score of 8 instead of 7 before, but that's about all I remember. I think I didn't get any more than that. I'm gonna try to adjust my grip on this thing so that it doesn't fall out. It's still a tiny bit. For one, it's stiff, and for two, I just need to get used to wearing this thick piece of plastic on my head. It's a little bit weird. I wonder what something like an Oculus Rift looks like, because I always thought it would look a little bit like this, but not exactly. Now that I have the Simon Optics, it's a little bit like, I don't know, it's a little bit way too thick, if you know what I mean. It just, I don't know, I thought it was going to be a tiny bit thinner or lighter than this. Another thing I kind of don't like is how it always resets to high volume and you have to change it back every time. Whereas the Simon Air and the Simon Swipe saved your settings. This one doesn't. I haven't shown you the high score sound yet, but I'm going to. Well, I'll try the first few levels first. If I can't get anywhere, then I'll just hold the button and show you my high score, which, by the way, I actually got, as I said, I got that from starting from a later level and getting getting really high up from there instead of the beginning, so I could go even higher. Okay, let's go. Good. Yes! No! Ah. That was not a high score, but it was. I got 16 as a standalone score. Try one more time. I need to get a little bit closer. Good. What? Okay, fine. You're not gonna, you don't like this, do you? Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Wait. Oh, interesting. So if you press the start button and hold it, and then press the dial and let go of the button, it will start. And if you hold the button and then go back, it will. No, it won't, actually. It won't tell you your high score. It'll just start again. So you have to hold the button from a standstill, and it will. $21. So I could have gotten like 30, like in the high 30s, I think, maybe even 40 if I got close enough. I'm not sure if the timer just stops or it pauses instead of restarts when it does the high score, because this thing takes a really short amount of time to turn off when it's idle. I don't know why that is. I think even the Simon Micro takes longer. It's weird. But anyway, Simon Optics is cool in concept, amazing in sound design. It could have been done a tiny bit better in terms of its sensors, but I'm gonna keep trying for a really long time. I'm destined to, like, do this game justice. Wow, it's warm. This thing is warm from being on my head for this long. Wow. Interesting. I didn't think it would be. Okay, so yeah, that was that. I hope you have enjoyed, and now I'm going to take a bit more time out of my day to practice a bit more with these two. And yeah, it was fun. And be prepared for another few streams coming up. I'm not sure if I should do streams of me playing these games or if I should continue doing stuff on the computer. I haven't decided on that yet. But we'll see. So, for those who have stayed up to this point, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.
Speech pause button.